Welcome back. We still have with us the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, and we're discussing the loan that the federal government, the president, has written to the National Assembly to want to take to rescue Nigeria out of the recession. Well, we'll go to Lagos now for some questions.
Well, yes, indeed. Let's start by asking, some of these, or some of the reasons they've given for wanting to borrow infrastructure. We see rail lines here. But we also remember vividly how the country took a large entourage to China to negotiate some loan facility for the same rail purposes. And now we see resurfacing this proposal to the National Assembly to approve the request of the loan. So what's going on? What is going on with that? First of all, that of China. Are we getting any funds from them? And why are we coming up with this one again?
Let me say that the loan is Buhari's Marshall Plan to develop the country, because he had looked forward of a future Nigeria where there's critical infrastructure in terms of electricity, in terms of rail lines, modern rail lines. What happened with China, as you said, is that what the Chinese were given in 2004 thereabouts is the old gauge between Lagos and Kano at $8.3 billion. Today we are talking of a standard gauge that crosses from the same Lagos-Kano and a coastal rail line that goes from Lagos to Calabar. And Mr. President also had in the kitty the one from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt. He's saying that he wants to free the Nigerian roads, because if the passengers can go on a rail line that runs between 100 to 150 kilometers an hour, more than what we have presently, that is about 33 kilometers per hour, that takes about 3 days before you get to Kano. He wants to improve on the rail line so that it becomes what is today called modern rail line. It's not the high-speed rail line, but it is a standard rail line that runs about 100 to 150 kilometers an hour. That makes it possible for somebody to go from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt in 1 day, or from Lagos to Kano in 1 day, or Lagos to Calabar at ease. So I think that Mr. President has in mind that railways is not only about transport, it's also about industrialization. It's also about improving the economy of the regions.
Yeah, Mr. Okechukwu, I get your point.
In any rail station,
I get your point, but I'm asking,
create new jobs.
Why is it that all of this could not be included in the Chinese rail deal? Why do we need a separate loan facility from a different platform for this one?
Because by the time they did the negotiation, they did not conclude on the coastal rail line, and they did not talk of standard gauge.
Why?
This is a different matter altogether.
Why didn't they?
And not forget, it's not only the Chinese Exim Bank. There's also the Islamic Development Bank, the Eurobond, the African Development Bank. So it's a cocktail of soft loan that will help the economy to grow and pay itself back without hassles. Because as I said earlier, the good luck we have now, why even the creditors agreed to talk to Nigeria after we bungled our past, is because we have Mr. President and Mr. Vice President who are prudent managers. Even the enemies can attest to that. If you have a prudent manager, you can go to rest. But it's also incumbent on Nigerians to also monitor the processes, so that at any bend, nobody should blame anybody, as I said. Let it not be the EL and carpet factory of the 80s. And it's not going to be, because Mr. President cannot see that happen. And as I said earlier, some of these are coming in terms of equipment. Majority of them are not coming to anybody as a cash. Even the Chinese are not giving anybody a dime.
That notwithstanding, the country is still going to, we're going to have to pay that back.
Targeted ones from the Islamic Development Bank or from...
Whichever form they are coming to us, we're still going to pay that back. What modalities do we have in place to pay this loan back?
No, you could very well trust that to pay back is very, very is going to be seamless, because what we're saying is we have over 250, over 25% of Nigerian youths not doing anything at all. The rest 35 underemployed. We want to put them back to work. Mr. President wants to leave people out of poverty. If you know what I was saying, the fact that agriculture is going to receive about $1.2 billion in this park, it's not going to be in cash. It's going to be in equipment, agricultural equipment, tractors, insecticides, all that improve seedlings. So Mr. President is looking at it on a very, that's why I said it's a Marshall Plan. He's saying, what do I do to lift over 60% of Nigerians out of poverty? Now, we can't continue being under this poverty rate. At the same time, he's also looking at the fact that the little money we could get, we can channel in other projects. That's what, when the Federal House of Reps, we are talking about the constituency project. The loan will leverage and leave a lot of money in the hands to do other projects. And for God's sake, there's no project the federal government of Nigeria is doing that is in the air. All of them are going to pass one constituency or the other.
But, you know,
so it's going to be seamlessly paid. Where it is bad not to pay, or where you get hooked up, is when you fail to execute the project in question.
You know, I'm just wondering, because your medium...
And when due.
Just hang on a minute, let me butt in, if you will. Your medium, for instance, will be broadcasting some of these facilities, the breakdown to the world in terms of what we're seeking. And up to today, we still don't have details in terms of what exactly are we getting from China, so that people know where we stand, that they come in with expertise. What are we getting from China? Nobody's been speaking about that trip, that loan facility, that trip you went to China for.
No, for instance, if you live in like in Abuja, for instance, Abuja is turning to Lagos in terms of traffic jam. But when you have rail lines as planned in the city, it's part of the cocktail, the Abuja Mass Transit rail line.
I think you maybe you didn't get Chamberlain.